Week 1 of the NFL season is in the books. We will be highlighting all of the games of the week from all of the Alliance leagues tonight, and we have a ton of NFL's news for you. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatic Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. How is everybody tonight? Holy crap, talk about tongue-tied right at the very beginning of this. Who is out there right now? Jenna's on. Jenna, how are you? Chris, hello. MJ's with us. Kelvin, this gets you hyped. The music gets you hyped, right? I absolutely love the music. So, of course, got to be hyped for tonight. Hey, got a lot of great stuff for you tonight. It is our week 1 wrap up. You get to see a lot of new things coming out of FSA on the show tonight. So strap yourself in. It's going to be probably a little bit longer of a show than normal, but we promise we will make it worth your time. Hey, let's talk about Football Darts. Football Darts are our broadcast sponsor. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. Unlike traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategies of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Jenna, please tell Taylor I said hello and that I love him, and he needs to jump on here sometime and say hi to me as well, and not just you. And if he's sitting there with you, tell him he's a punk and he needs to come on himself and say hello, and tell him still that I love him. They say an empty wagon makes a lot of noise. Listen to our partners Josh, Eric, and Brad talk fantasy football on their podcast, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings and projections, and they do it with a whole lot of comedy. This week's show is very much like what we're doing this week on the FSA Week 1 wrap-up, except for we're going to talk about the fantasy side of the house around the entire alliance, where the fantasy football, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast guys talked about the NFL Week 1 wrap-up. Josh was back in the studio this week, and all three of the guys broke down each one of the NFL games. Make sure you go over and give them a download and a listen. You can find the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast on Anchor at anchor.fm. Go there, subscribe to the show. Also follow them on all of their social media, and they can be found at Empty Wagon FF. And I think you can see that scrolling across the bottom right there. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Chris says, who's on the show today with your name? I'm assuming you have a guest. So the good thing about this, Chris, is it allows us to have our names on here all the time. So, and I'm not sure if there's really a way to shut it off. Maybe there is. I don't know. I haven't found it yet. You know, it's only the second week using it. But either way, in case you all forget who I am, there's my name just in case, right? Damien says, let's go. And as always, he says, if you're not listening to Empty Wagon Podcast, you are doing fantasy wrong. They are a great group of guys, and they have great takes. Hey, so before we get into all of these games of the week, I would like to welcome back Kevin Godwin. Kevin, how are you?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me back.
You know what? I don't like that view. Let's go to this view instead. I like that much better. Hey, how was your fantasy week this week? How'd you do in all of it? First off, how many leagues do you play in, and how did you do this week?
So I'm currently in 5 leagues, a little, more than what I would like to be in, but 5 leagues. I went 2-3 after a upsetting Monday night. Unfortunately, I caught the case of the Noah Fants, and
I've been hearing that a lot lately. Yeah. Noah Fants has been coming up quite a bit lately. Yeah. How many of those 5 are FSA leagues?
3.
3 of them. How'd you do in the FSA leagues?
One and two. So I lost both dynasty leagues late Monday, and then I won the only league that really mattered to me this week. Was my Evil Empire against the Mad Scientists. Uh, Won that pretty handily, if I do say so myself.
That's funny you mentioned that. That's one of our games of the week this week. We'll get to it in a few, though. Chris says he doesn't like that view either. He wants to know what you're wearing. I think that would be the new Cam Newton jersey, wouldn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Hey, so let's get into these games of the week. Maybe a little window shifting here for everything, so we can make sure that you guys are getting the best experience that you can get. And please tell me, yeah, Damien said, it's very nice of Damien to say that you gave him a whooping this week. So it was very nice of at least him to be humble about it, because that is absolutely true. It was a whooping. Hey, everybody, let me know if you like this view right here or not. I would love to hear your opinion. So, hey, we're going to start this just like we have done for the last couple of seasons. We have an order that we'd like to do these in every year, and we're going to start this season's week one wrap up just like we have our previous seasons with the New England region. The New England region had our margin of victory a game for the entire alliance this week, as the game was separated by just 0.1 points. And unfortunately for the team on the losing side, he was forced to play without a kicker because all of the craziness that happened with our draft when we were had to drop a player for him, which was his last selection in the draft, and to give him his kicker, he picked Matt Gay. And then unfortunately, Gay was cut. And because of also the craziness of us not having the waiver wires started until this morning at 1 o'clock, he was unable to pick up a player. So he was forced to play in week one without a kicker. That is something that we are going to address in the offseason, just so everybody knows. But the two teams that were involved were the Phoenix Rage and the Chris Betts. The Rage were on the losing side of that game, losing 146.48 to 146.38. And that is our margin of victory a game of the week for the entire alliance. So a little bit of an adjustment of order of how we're doing the regions this year. Appalachian Black Bears is up next. Kevin already mentioned this earlier about the big rivalry that he had between Damian Scott so far this year. Right out the gate, the two got to play against each other. They have been trash talking each other nonstop. Evil Empire, which is Kevin's team, the Mad Scientist, which is Damian Scott's team. Evil Empire was able to come on top with a final score of 171 to 132. I guess that was a pretty big butt whooping there by you, Kevin. What says you about that game?
Yeah, that was just a overperformance on my side and an underperformance on Damien, the mad scientist side. This was supposed to be out the gate originally. I think we were only separated by 2 points in our projection, and then he saw Josh Allen go off for 31 points, and then Alvin Kamara for 22. Outside of that, nobody to mention of having lived up to what they were projected to. And then outside of Leonard Fournette, I had everybody on my team overshoot and past their projections. Christian McCaffrey with 30 points, Brady with 22 points, DeAndre Hopkins, which puts the nail in the coffin at 26 points. And I do have to mention that immediately after the game, Damien tried to whisk him away from me and make a trade to get the guy that beat him in Hopkins.
Well, he's always trying to do something. I mean, he is the mad scientist. He's trying to work it however he can. I see my sister just jumped on there, and it says, "Hey, son," which means my dad must be watching tonight. And just so you all know, this will be the first time that my dad has ever watched one of our broadcasts live. And we are on episode 33 of season 6. And this is the first time Dad's ever seen one live. So, Dad, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, and speaking of Dad, we're getting ready to go right into the Great Lakes region right now, home of my dad. So game of the week here, we picked out the Creek Dogs versus the Ohio River Monsters. Reason Creek Dogs was the highlight of this week, or the game of this week. As some of you know, the Creek Dogs was last year's world champion. Did not start off well defending that title, as he lost to the Ohio River Monsters 151 to 141. He also did not have that great of a season last year. He just kept getting lucky whenever he was knocking everybody off, and that string of luck hit him really good whenever he hit the playoffs, and he just rolled right into the playoffs and took us all out. Chris says, how is your dad doing? He's doing well. I got to talk to him for quite a bit yesterday. I'm doing much better. He is living, I think, mostly full-time, part-time with the sister right now. So bless her soul, she is taking care of him. I love you, Dad. So let's move on to the South Atlantic Dragons region. This involved our top scoring team of all of the Alliance this week. And I don't think Sean's out there right now, but he's been talking about wanting to watch this episode all day today just so he could hear his name. The Naughty Dogs ended up knocking off Lumiere with a final score of 199 to 136. And even crazier was, even with the Naughty Dogs scoring 199 points, he left 6 points on the bench. My sister says, are we supposed to see you? I don't know if maybe they can hear me and they can't see me. That would be funny. Yeah, sis, I'm not sure how you can make it happen because I don't know what you're looking like on your screen, but yeah, you should be able to see me right now. Maybe somebody can help you. Sean is on. There he is. Maybe somebody on that side can help you. Ask Herbie or William to see if they can help you figure out how to see us. Ross Norris on with us. Ross, how are you? Hey, Rutgers got a win this week over in NCFF. That makes me pretty happy. Hey, let's move on to the Gulf Coast Serpents region. I did not even realize that those two teams were playing against each other until I was doing the script tonight. And it ends up being a game between mother and son. And she proved once again at the beginning of the season that last year's regional championship was not a fluke, as 99 Problems was able to take out the Rough Riders with a final score of 141 to 108. So congratulations to Mom. And in our, let's see, Betsy says, I can hear you, but it is just a computer screen. Yeah, you'll be able to see us in a little bit. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing us up there for a second. Now I see why. Yeah, I was definitely confused. That's why I've got you over there producing, why I'm just flapping my gums. Appreciate you. Oh, Chris says we don't see you because of the games of the week. Yeah, you'll see me in a few. I'll get my face back up there. Not that you really want to see it anyways. Hey, so our final region in the redraft, of course, is our Western Wyvern region, our hodgepodge put together new region for the year. This was our second MOV game of the week. However, for the opposite, not really opposite, but really, really high scoring close game, as our one member from Australia, the Koalas, end up defeating the Wildcats with a final score of 174 to 172, which is our second closest margin of victory game of the week. Bill says Brian is just the pretty face of FSA. That's unfortunate. That's probably why we don't make any money with this thing, because if I'm supposed to be the money maker for it all with this face, it is not working for anybody. Hey, so that ends the redraft games of the week wrap up. Kevin, you got any highlights you would like to hit from these 6 games right here, other than yours against the Mad Scientist? However, go ahead and give one more dig to Damien if you'd like.
Yeah, I was surprised to see, obviously, with this being my first year within FSA, just the range of teams. There was no one team that really stuck out to me as far as being that dominant outside of my team. Like I said, going into this week, Damien was favored by a point, but just to see the craziness which can happen within the NFL is nice to see, and makes every week that much more interesting to look forward to. And just looking to see how these rankings change, as these games come up, who can put together a string of games of the weeks, and what that team looks like, and how they compare roster-wise to the other regions to see if there's any consistency across the players.
That's the one crazy thing about this, and we've said it for years. When people first hear about FSA and we tell them how the system goes, and everybody plays down to a regional championship and then they go into the ladder for the world championship. A lot of people say, well, don't the final two teams have a lot of the same players on it? It just doesn't happen that way. Just between draft strategies and waiver wire moves and injuries and how it's all built and everything like that. Bill says the football is a funny shape, doesn't always bounce like you think it will. It's kind of the way it works in FSA as well in the redraft league. Because you're right. I think this past year when Greg was in the World Championship, maybe they had 3 players the same on their roster, 2 of which were starters for that. So that was a scratch between the 2 of them, which is the most scratches we've had since we've been doing this in 27 years, 26 years. So, yeah, always fun to watch how this plays out. And with the power rankings that we've got on board now as well, I think it's going to probably better represent who has the better team across the alliance versus what we've been using for the last couple of years. And we'll get to that when we get to the power ranking section. But before we do, let's get over to the dynasty games of the week. So, of course, we're going to go right down phonetically on this thing between Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. So, Sean, if you're still out there, you're going to get to hear your name again. Not only did Sean claim the top scoring spot in the redraft league this week, he also got a win with his Atlanta Havoc team as he defeated the Memphis Maniacs. Final score there was 139 to 134, which was our closest game of the week in Alpha Dynasty. Moving on to Bravo. Although the NFL's New York Jets might suck at the moment, the Bravo Dynasty Bridgeport Jets certainly do not. They were the highest scoring dynasty team of the weeks across all 4 leagues. They defeated the Cincinnati Reds with a final score of 197 to 108. This was the biggest blowout of the week as well. In the Charlie Dynasty League, the LA Extreme began their 2001 XFL title defense with a win over the Buffalo All-Americans. Final score there, 151 to 142. And I don't know if Ted Howard is out there with us or not. The self-titled AAF champion Orlando Apollos began their 2019 quote-unquote title defense with a win over the St. Louis Stallions with a final score of 175 to 132. And, of course, we cannot. Well, Kev, you said you did not win either one of the dynasty leagues, correct?
I did not. I was looking like I was going to, heading into the late game Sunday and then into Monday, but I slipped both of them by a small margin.
I ended up splitting mine this week. I ended up winning the Alpha against Chris Simpson, who's out there. And since he's out there, I'm definitely going to mention that I beat him. And then I got demolished in the Delta League by the Corpus Christi Hammerheads. I think I ended up getting beat by 55 points or something like that. So pretty embarrassing loss there.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up. No, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say I lost in Delta, our New York, New Jersey Knights by 10 points to the Gamblers. And then again in Charlie, let me pull that up. Charlie was a little bit closer, I believe. I lost that by 5 points to the San Antonio Gunslingers. So looking to redeem myself this week. Definitely.
All right, let's get over to this QB54 arm and leg league. Wrap up and do our games of the week over there. The closest game of the week for the QB54 Arm and Leg League came from our AFC game between MJ Cooley and Chris Simpson. Chris Simpson getting mentioned quite a bit tonight, but again, not for a good reason. Chris again loses another game, this time to Cooley with a final score of 8-7. What a great score. I love seeing fantasy scores that look just like this. And then on our NFC side of the ball, the largest margin of victory win game came on the NFC side, where Lucy James defeated Cody Tyler 36-0. And that was because Tyler did not set his lineup even after being reminded twice and him acknowledging both reminders. He still forgot to set his lineup, so he took a goose egg in week number 1. So this week's power rankings are brought to you by Cranky Veteran Candle Company. This is what your top 25 looks like right now. Let me see if we can't kill that banner ticker across the bottom there. So let's talk about how these power rankings are calculated this year. I won't go into the way they were calculated in the past because I don't want anybody to get confused. But this is how we're doing it this year. So we're going to take your quality wins. Your quality wins is the number of total wins that you have collected from the teams that you have beat for the year. So in this case, all of the teams started off with 0 wins. So for the first week of the season, the 2 ways to look at how the power rankings were established were either total points or by your all-play record, because it would be equal this first week of the season. You collect the quality wins of the teams that you beat for their entire schedule for 2020. So let's say Kevin and I played against each other, and I beat Kevin in week 1. I have now collected a win against Kevin, but that does not count into my quality wins, just the wins that he collects for the rest of the year. So let's say Kevin only loss is to me for the whole year, and he ends up running the table the rest of the season, and he finishes 10-1. Those 10 wins, along with any other wins that I've collected for other teams that I have beat, all become mine in what's called quality wins. We take that quality win, the top quality wins total, and then we multiply that by your all-play record. Now, your all-play record is a cumulative total of as if you played every team each week, and then you were getting a win-loss record on that. So in this case, the Naughty Dogs was the number 1 team this week by him having the top score and the best all-play record, because with that top score, it's like he beat the 71 other teams that are in the alliance. So his win-loss record for the week was 71-0. So the team that had the lowest score for the week is 0-71, and then it'll be somewhere in between. And then that is a cumulative total. So as that's totaling up, and your quality wins are totaling up from the teams that you have defeated for the year, you multiply those 2 numbers together, and that's going to give you what we're calling the Wizard score. We're going to keep it themed here with Walter the Wizard and everything else that we got in FSA. That will give you your Wizard score. And this is where we're at with the top 25 after week 1. Of course, Naughty Dogs in the number 1 spot, all the way down there to the Ship Huggers in number 25. Kevin, you're on this list somewhere, aren't you? Where are you at?
Yes, I am number 9. I thought I was 9. 7. I am 7.
Number 7. Not a bad spot to be. I made the list, probably the only time I'll see this list. I made it to 23 this week. So who else is out there? Anybody else we know? You know who else is out there? I think your brother's on this list at number 19, right?
Yes, he is.
That would be Josh Lorenzo, that is now joining us down there in the corner. Josh, how are you? I don't know why I can't unmute you right now. See if you can unmute yourself, because you're definitely stuck on mute right now.
Yes, I was.
There you are.
I was waiting to get a chance to talk. How you guys doing tonight?
Well, we're 24 minutes in, and you finally get to talk. How you feeling?
I am ready to go.
How you feel about that number 19 ranking this week?
I wish it was higher, especially higher than that one right there, than Kevin.
Ain't gonna happen.
Well, it's still early in the season, so still a lot of football left.
So in case you guys don't know, you guys are brothers.
Yes.
Just so everybody's tracking, you 2 are brothers. Hey, so I kind of do a little bit of foreshadowing or talking a little bit ahead of what the script says here for the night. We brought Kevin on last week because Kevin's going to be a bigger part of the Wednesday show. We're bringing Josh on tonight because starting next Tuesday, Josh and Kevin are going to do a show under the umbrella of FSA called Average Brothers fantasy show. That's what we're calling it, right? Average Brothers Fantasy Show.
Yeah.
Unless you guys decided to change the name on me again tonight. I heard you talking about that, or maybe the logo or something. But the Average Brothers Fantasy Show is going to kick off next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So they will start 30 minutes earlier than what we normally do our show on Wednesday. We will still be here on Wednesdays, though. But we wanted to make sure that we brought Josh on tonight so you all get introduced to him. Josh, tell the nice people of FSA a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I am also from New Jersey. I've been playing fantasy for about 8 years now, and I'm looking forward to many more with FSA. As you can clearly see by this jersey and many more around me, I am a Saints fan. And pretty much speaking of the Saints, that brings me into the NFL news.
There we go. Let's get to that NFL news.
Yes. Unfortunately, leading it off with Michael Thomas. He has a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out for several weeks. Marlon Mack, he has the torn Achilles. He's going to be out for the season. Blake Jarwin, he has the torn ACL. He's going to be out for the season, unfortunately. Leighton Vander Esch with a broken collarbone. He's missing 6 to 8 weeks. Deebo Samuel has a foot injury. He has been placed on the IR, so he's going to be out for a 3-week minimum. Le'Veon Bell with a hamstring injury. He has been placed on the IR as well with a 3-week minimum. What? The armpit of America. Yes. Where was I? David Njoku has a sprained MCL. He has been placed on IR with no timeline. And then Duke Johnson with a sprained ankle. He is questionable. George Kittle with a knee sprain. He is also questionable. James Conner with a sprained ankle. He's questionable. And finishing it off with Philip Lindsay. He has turf toe. He is questionable. Going into the extensions, Alvin Kamara signs a 5-year, $75 million extension. I believe it was 75 with a $15 million bonus. Dalvin Cook signs a 5-year deal, $63 million extension with $15.5 million bonus. And on to the signings for this week, we have Mohamed Sanu being signed by the 49ers on a 1-year deal, and Kalen Ballage, if I'm saying that correctly, by the Jets. And that is it as far as news.
I think the two big signings, I think the guys kind of proved maybe they were worth the money in the very first week of the season. Both of them had pretty good first NFL weeks. Maybe not completely translated over to the best points in fantasy, but definitely did well for their teams. Bill says that is a huge cup. Bill, yes, it is. I know what you think is probably in it, but it's only water tonight. But I do need to take another drink.
Yeah,
Josh, thank you. That was a lot of NFL news. And I swear, I feel like the more and more you talk, the more and more people just kept getting hurt. Like, you need to stop. They're already dead. They're already down. Stop making it worse by talking, man. Yeah, it's a pretty bad week, first week of the season. So, he says, yeah, what's up with that? He's not in Texas. Oh, because I got the big cup. All right, that took me a second. I'm a little slow there. Actually, these cups were given to me while I was in Texas. Does that count? Yeah, Jets officially signed Ballage this time. I don't know what's going on with the Jets. Like, I'm going to follow the Bridgeport Jets and their owner, Louis Cintron, for the rest of the year because the New York Jets are just horrible. What else you guys got out there? Any more NFL news?
I think that was it as far as major news goes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the biggest news, Cam Newton making his appearance as the new ringleader for the Patriots, off to a great week, great start.
Can we mute him?
I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop talking now. It's going to do much for you.
I saw eventually.
I heard another piece of news, and I don't know if I missed it in there. Allen Robinson. Anybody hear this news? Allen Robinson possibly looking for a trade? Is
well,
this true?
actually, no. He what was it? He he had a talk with the head coach, and now they're on the same page. So it looks like he is staying in Chicago.
All right, cool. That's good. I've got him on a couple teams. I mean, it might even do him better to be at another team, but I sure would like him to stay there. I don't want to see anything disrupted in mid-season. I say mid-season by week 2. Thursday night football. How did we look last week, Kev? You and I were off of our predictions.
One of us looked pretty decent. Unfortunately, that did not happen to be me. You went 4-0 this week, and I went half that at 2-2. With myself choosing Dallas and Denver, both having poor performances. Unfortunately, all close games though, outside of the Kansas City game. So it wasn't like anything was a runaway or couldn't have seen going the other way. But we do start off the season yourself 4-0 and me 2-2. Looking to make that up this week though.
Yeah, I'll take it too. And it was crazy because I woke up the next morning. I fell asleep during the Denver Tennessee game. I woke up to you guys like a bazillion text messages. Like there had to be like close to 200 text messages, and everybody talking about how bad of a kicking game Kozlowski was having. And very, very surprised to find that they still ended up winning the game. Made me happy because I woke up knowing that I was 4-0 against you for the week. So that made it all work.
That reminded me of the Dumb and Dumber scene. You go out and you do this, and then you come back and totally redeem yourself, missing. I believe it was 4. Was it 4 missed field goals, extra points, and then only making 1 for the night, and that being the game winner.
Yeah, I think it was a total of three field goals and an extra point that he ended up missing. Yeah. I think one of them was botched or something like that. I haven't gone back. I would like to go back and watch the highlights of that, but I don't know if you consider that highlights or not. But I'm sure that they're out there to watch all of the missed kicks for the week. Hey, so let's talk about this week, and we got Josh on with us now. So I think all 3 of us should make predictions. I know you're going to be you'll be a week behind us, but we'll go off a win-loss percentage, and I'll just roll with that 4-0 to help out. Yeah, I get a slight advantage. I'll take it though. All right, so Thursday night, we have Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cleveland favored by 6 points. The over-under at 43.5. Josh, you're the new guy. How about you pick who you want on Thursday night?
All right, so every season I always say that, Cleveland's going to do good. They have a stacked lineup, in my opinion. But on Thursday night, I'm going to have to go against them. Joe Burrow being a captain actually almost got the win against the Chargers, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna have to go with Cincinnati on Thursday night.
And Kev, since you're playing 500 ball right now, we'll let you go ahead and go second.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as Josh. Every year I say, hey, the Browns are looking better and better. They had some defensive pieces. You got one of the baddest man on the defensive side of the ball in Myles Garrett with a fantastic mustache. You got a pair of running backs that are probably 2 of the top 5 in the league when they're both running on all cylinders. It's hard for me, although starting with a loss last week, to me that's too small of a sample size. You're playing one of the best teams in the Ravens week 1 to count them out in anything. So I got to go right back to them this week. I got to take the Browns.
Well, you would be wrong, and your brother and I would probably be right. I don't care about the point spread. I don't care that Cleveland is a 6-point favorite. And not only that, but my Cincinnati Bengals hat looks way better than the Cleveland Browns hat that I have. So we're going to go for the stylish look this week, and I am taking Cincinnati, so make sure you mark that down. So whenever they do win, you can mark me as 5-0. All right, on to Sunday Night Football. And Sunday Night Football, we will be back with our happy hour again this week on Zoom. The game's kickoff is at 8:20 East Coast time. We will open up the chat room at 8:15 because we have to do it on the quarter hours. So make sure you come out and join us. We will be doing that, and we will be watching New England at Seattle. Seattle favored by 4 points. The over-under at 45. We'll keep the same rotation. Josh, who you like in that one?
I know Kevin's going to hate me for this one, but I'm going to have to take Seattle. I like what Cam Newton did week 1. but again, that's against a Miami defense, which we all know how Miami is. And from what I saw week 1 with Seattle, they looked pretty strong against a tough Atlanta team. So I'm going to have to go Seattle.
Kev, with the jersey that you're wearing telling the whole story, are you going to go with the New England Patriots?
Yeah, I am going, with the home team. Well, away this week, but my team, I should say. You're not battling the 12th man. You don't have to go out there and deal with the fans or the crowds. It's, Bill Belichick, the smartest man in the room, said it the best when he was asked, going through this offseason and then going into week 1, how does it feel being in a new situation when you don't have to deal with fans? Have you ever had to deal with that before? And he said, yes, we deal with it every day in practice, and we practice the way we want to play. So, I think that team is built to go the distance this year, and especially walking through Seattle. I think that they are probably going to be one of the tougher teams on their schedule this year. I do think it will be close. Russell Wilson is a bad man. If there's anybody that can run and throw better than Cam, it's going to be Russell. He can do both and very well. But I do think that the Patriots edge this one out.
All right, so you'll be 0-2 for this week because Seattle's going to win this one, and not just because they are my wife's team. I do believe Seattle's going to get this. I do think that it's interesting that you brought in the 12th man and the noise there, though. That could be a factor. I'm wondering how much of a factor that was to a lot of the games in week 1. Even if they were pumping the crowd noise in, I heard one of the programs said that they are keeping the decibels at 70 decibels, I think. Even in the stadiums as they're pumping in the crowd noise, and we know it can get almost double that in Kansas City. Yep. So I can't think that 70 decibels is a whole lot. They don't have to deal with it in the end zones. Quarterbacks are calling audibles with no real problems. The players, the linemen can hear it. Nobody's making jumps and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be an interesting. That's a very good concept. So, all right, Monday Night Football. Only one game this week since we are in week 2 now. New Orleans at Las Vegas. Are the players playing in the Vegas stadium? They're just not allowing fans in, or is the stadium still being built and they're playing the game somewhere else right now?
No, I believe they are opening this stadium, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. I believe they're opening it, but are not having fans. Mm-hmm. I believe they were a team that was on the fence, but went against it. Obviously, the only way to pay for a stadium of such sort is to put people in the seats, which is why they said that, hey, we might want to delay the start of opening it just because, we don't have to turn the lights on this week. But they have ruled to go towards it, I believe.
Okay. I don't think. Oh, the spread is New Orleans are favored by 5.5, over under 51.5. I don't know if we really need to ask who Josh thinks is going to win this game. I think his jersey and everything hanging around him answers that question. Are you going to take the Saints, I'm going to assume, Josh?
Oh, of course I'm going to take the Saints. I have to. I mean, it's going to be a test, having number 1 receiver in the league out. But, we were down our number 1 quarterback last season, and we ended up going 5-0 from it. So if we can do it without a quarterback, we can do it without a wide receiver.
Kev, who you like this week?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Josh. I mean, I don't think that I don't think Michael Thomas makes that team. And what I mean by that is I think that I agree with Josh. I think he's the number 1 receiver in the league, and I do think that he adds a level of complexity to that offense that's hard to stop, but I don't think that overall stops that offense from moving forward. You still have Alvin Kamara in the backfield. You can use Latavius Murray a little bit more, get him out there, spread the offense a little bit out that way with Kamara up on the line. I think that Cook is the best 5-yard and under check down tight end in the league since early days of Gronk. He's been one of the most shorthand guys underneath. And then you still have their new shiny toy in Emmanuel Sanders to stretch the field when you can. So having that Michael Thomas isn't necessarily a need. It's a pretty shiny toy to play with and want to have, but not necessary. I think they get it done.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that he makes the team. Well, actually, Sanders was the only – well, take Kamara out of the situation. Sanders was the only receiver to get a catch a touchdown last week. But yeah, I'm not saying he makes the team, but it is going to be kind of a difference. You take their number one receiver out, and then you shift all the attention to the other receiver. So, but I like your point on.
I think the good thing, Kevin hit on all of the guys that I was going to talk about as well. I think in this situation, Latavius Murray proved that he can still be the guy if Kamara's out. If you need to, and you have to slide Sanders somewhere else because he has played in multiple positions as a wide receiver, line Kamara up out there as a wide receiver. He's done it a lot of times. Make Murray your primary back because they are going to focus on Emmanuel Sanders now. And you still have gadget guy Taysom Hill, even though we all can't stand him and what he does. You still have him to be able to go out there and do some things for you. He proved he can throw the ball. He threw one last week. I think it went for a touchdown, right? I mean, it was like, I don't know how the defense didn't see it. I'm watching it from home thinking the ball's going to Hill and then he's going to throw it. And it's exactly what happened. But, it's easy to be an armchair quarterback, I guess, and watching it from home too. All right, so you got them all marked down, Kev. So you got me and Josh going 3-0. You got me and him going 3-0 this week, and you going 1-2.
I mean, I missed that. I missed that here. I do see myself coming back and evening up the score, if that's what you're referring to.
You can't. You can only come within a game because I'm still 4-0, baby. The best you can do is get 3-0, and I'm still going to be there.
No, we would have the same score. We would be evened.
How's that possible?
If he goes 3-0,
if I go 3-0,
yeah,
you would only have the Saints game, so you would be 5-2. I would also be 5-2.
I can't do math. Math is hard. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Appreciate you. Hey, what else you guys got? Before I start getting into the last little chunk of the show here for the night, what else do you guys got?
I think that pretty much wraps it up for me. I just want to make sure everyone goes out and remembers to check us out, the Fantasy Bros, on Tuesdays. You get more of the back and forth banter. You get to see me root for the Saints 1 week only and then rip into them every week following. Watch Breeze on his last ride go out as not a champions. So that will be fun.
And watch Breeze hit 80,000.
Yeah, how close is he now?
Oh my goodness, he's like I want to say around 3,000, give or take a couple hundred.
So this should be it for him, right? He hit the 80,000 at the end of the season and go out and retire. Good on him.
It should be.
I think I'm going to try and join you guys on Tuesday when you guys take your shoes off so you can count on your toes. I don't know if that will help or not. That was hard math. I'll probably need somebody else's fingers and toes as well. I think I'm going to try to join you guys on Tuesday night as well. You let me know how I can be a part of the Average Brothers show for you guys on week 1, and I'll be there with you guys 8 o'clock on Tuesday. But before we get all the way to Tuesday, we've got Thursday, Sunday, Monday football. Don't forget to set your lineups in all of your leagues, mostly in FSA though. So don't forget the redraft league, all of the dynasty leagues, the QB54 arm and leg league. Please go out and set all your lineups. Cody, if you're out there listening right now, please go set your QB54 arm and leg league lineup, please. We don't want to take another 0 for you. So we already kind of mentioned it. We already know the Average Brothers are coming on Tuesday of next week. We already mentioned that we're going to have our second happy hour on Sunday. Make sure you are there for those. 8:15 for the happy hour on Sunday, 8 o'clock on Tuesday for Average Brothers, and then back here again next Wednesday, 8:30 East Coast time. So you can see episode 34. I think that's what we're on for the year. Amazing that we've been doing this for 6 seasons. We have that many episodes in our belts right now. Hey, jerseys. I finally got both of them in. I've been wearing it for the whole show tonight. I am ready to take orders for any of you that would like one. You are not restricted to the 1 color or the 2 color black and white one that you've seen me wear in pictures already, and I will wear on next week's show. We do have colored versions as well. But for the price that we're going to quote you, it will be for a 1 color logo. So let us know what you want that to look like for you. The next jersey we are going to work on with our jersey distributor is multiple colored logos to see what that price is going to look like. And then we are going to see if they will also do sublimation printing for us as well. So we'll have 3 different types of jerseys for you to get, or 3 levels of jerseys to get. Yeah, I like that, Kelvin. Always bet on the black. I'm not sure how yours actually would probably look pretty good on black and white. Chris, for the deal with shipping, for you specifically and for Brett, because you guys are really across the pond, I'll see what shipping would look like to you guys, and then we'll work out the price of the jersey from there. I have no idea what it would cost to send something like that over to you, but I will start doing my research and find out for you. Kev, put your cup back up there again. That's pretty cool. Pretty awesome. Hey, if you're not already following us or have subscribed to us on our YouTube channel, please go over and do that. We are currently sitting at 79 subscribers. We need to get all the way up to 100 so we can not only get a custom YouTube channel, but we can do this show live in this location and over on YouTube. I would love to be able to see Kevin and Josh be over there on YouTube as well. We need 21 more of you to subscribe. We don't even care if you ever watch us. You don't even have to turn the alerts on. Just go over and subscribe for us so we can reach that 100. So if you're listening to this, you're watching this, you have family and friends, tell them to go over and subscribe to Fantasy Sports Alliance on the YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias, which I just realized we're running across the bottom of the screen. Kevin, appreciate that very, very much. We'll make that look a little bit prettier in the next couple of weeks. You guys got any closing remarks?
That's it for me, pretty much. Best of luck to everybody out there except for Damien. I wish you no luck, sir. Josh, thank you for hopping on, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesdays.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to look at that weekly now.
Josh, I do appreciate you coming on with us, man. Thank you for all of the NFL news as well. That was a great rundown.
Yes.
I'm glad I didn't have to look it up this week. Thank you for taking on that mountain of a task this week. It was already 4 pages worth of a script, so I appreciate you adding the NFL news in there for me. Very much appreciate that.
It was a mouthful.
Yeah. Hey, so I have a question. So if you guys are going to be doing this on Tuesday, and Kevin and I are kind of doing this back and forth on Wednesday, who does NFL news for me next week? Is it going to be me? Oh, Lord.
I mean, if you need somebody to fill in,
Hey, is there anybody out there that wants to do NFL news for me next week? Let me know. We'll bring you on the show next week.
We got to hire some interns.
Yeah, we definitely have to do that. And I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, QB54, who is the sponsor of our newly developed Arm and Leg League this year. Football Darts, our broadcast sponsor. Nature Coast Tailgating, which is our World Championship Bowl sponsor. Finger Lakes Mercantile, Cranky Veteran Candle Company, Southern Siren, Sugar Scrub, Deep South Creations, all of our bowl sponsors. And then, of course, the Recast, who are the official music of Fantasy Sports Alliance. Thank you all. Appreciate you being here. Kev, Josh, have a great week of football, except for NFL related on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. Kev, I hope you go 0-3. Can you go 0-3? No, I want you to go 1-2, I guess, because we need New Orleans to win, right? So I hope you go 1-2. Yeah, go Saints. Go Bengals. Go Seahawks. And we will see you all Sunday, Tuesday, and next Wednesday. You all have a great night.